You ever think about running off, like Barbie and Sam?
Off you go. I can't be seen raternizing with the likes of you. A sorcerer? Ha! Second rat wizards by my book. That lizard there's a sorcerer, and look at her now, strung up by her hands with a death rattle hanging round her lips. I'll have her eyeball when she's done with it. Won't be long now. Well, I'm a rat, and you're some kind of stick-similar corpse gobbler. Never the twain shall mix, thus spaketh the reddish large-style flesh beasts. Just look at what happened to that lovely flick-tongued scale slitherer when she spent too much time with a lumbering large-style flesh beast of her own. No thank you.
The rat hisses at you with sibilant malevolence.
Carry on then, stink beast. Don't let little old me distract you from your very important stink business.
I did not kill Alexander, you stupid ape. Release me!
A fly buzzes around the dwarf's mutilated head. For a moment it lands, crawls across his open eye and takes off again. The silent watcher does not blink. A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, 2 lizards. One in a Magister uniform hangs dead from her neck. The other hangs from her hands, still alive.
Step away from the prisoner, elf! That's internal order business. You do well to leave it alone. Let's just say Zeus and there was of help to sorcerers and leave it at that. You're going to... what, now? She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her.
Come now. Is this really necessary?
I'll regret this, I know I will. All right, I'll stand aside.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but her tongue flickers as you approach.
Welcome to Driftwood, God-woken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is work to be done. Or, indeed, you could stand there gawping as if I just run off with your femur. You might not have the brains anymore, but I pray you've managed to keep some wits. Be quick about it. Who knows when that Magister might return? God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now, best scurry off before that Magister wanders back. Meet me at my home in Driftwood, and we can see what you're made of.
There's one unaffected egg behind them. Perhaps there's still a chance.
to none. Boy is mine.
There you are, little egg.
Baby's gone! Stolen egg! Stolen and gone! Help, 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 help! Ah! Transform! Not a chicky baby anymore! Oh!
She leaps up and grabs the egg with her foot, kicking it under her warm underbelly and settling down upon it contentedly.
Shh! Little Beeper baby, Mama's here, warm and here with you again.
She cocks a black eye up at you and winks.
Thank you. I have something for you. Something I buried behind the coop. It's yours. It's yours. Unless some other scratchily poker found it first, of course.
I've spotted something.
You ever think about...
From the dark, you stare up at the thin slivers of light visible between the floorboards. Shadows ripple across the slivers, accompanied by heavy footsteps, magister footsteps. Wood creaks above your head. One of them has paused. Your breath catches in your throat as you wait for him to move along. But the hatch is suddenly yanked open. Light floods you, blinding and accusatory. You hear only one gruffly barked word before the hands seize you. Gotcha! You twist your head around as the magisters haul you away. Your wife and two boys stand in the doorway, helpless. You commit their faces to memory one last time. Wendy cries out something to you. You tell yourself it was, "I love you," or "We'll wait for you." But the truth is, you didn't catch it. The farm recedes from view behind you.
Looky here, folks. Mom, can you hear me?
That doesn't sound promising, does it?
The little boy lobs a stone across the river. It makes a long arc before plunging into the water below.
Oh, Ma! Are you all right? Ma! Huh? Please, you have to help her. There was a
a fight. Some dwarves attacked some magisters and there were sorcerers too. And then the bugs came, those void things. They killed everyone. And my ma got 'em to chase her. And she went across the bridge. And then she raised the bridge and she told me to run. And now she's stuck over there with them. Not without Ma. Family doesn't just leave each other. You will. Maybe you can cross the river then. Ma lifted the bridge, but there's got to be another way, right? Yeah. You'll make one, and I'll...
His gaze shoots to the ground. He grabs a small flat pebble and chucks it across the river. Again, it lands in the water below, well before reaching the other side of the cliffs.
I'll keep distracting him.
He performs a divine order salute.
Now go out, Ma. Ma, can you hear me?
They don't come visit you, Tug. Who will?
I bet you're the musical sort. You've thought about taking up the lute. I got a few ready to go, all freshly strung. It's like I always said. Everyone's got a melody in him. You just gotta look. My brother Laszlo couldn't carry a tune in a bucket when he were a wee thing. Now he's got the voice of an angel. Magisters came, stole him away. I keep going though, hoping to get to Ark sooner than later. Lucian's Day crowds will be wanting some musical trifles. Come back if you need. I'll be whittling away. Don't let them silence your song, whether fanfare or lullaby.
There's paladins up ahead. Men of my vintage. I wonder if I served with any of them back in the war.
Traveller, if you please. Who goes there? Ha! If you're looking for adventure, east's the way to go. It's a void-woken hellhole over there. Sorcerer at work. Powerful one. Of course, you could wait for the Magisters to sort them out. You'll be waiting. Holding the fort like we always do. Usually the fort in question is bigger than this one, but you do the job in front of you, don't you? Seems someone high up doesn't trust the Magisters to do their jobs out there. What should you expect beyond the bridge? Expect sorcery of the highest order. Expect Void-woken, bigger and badder than you've ever seen. Expect the void. Expect to die. Go on through, adventurer. We won't stop you.
I shall not mourn.
Sighting a stocky paladin seated ahead, Ifan tugs at your sleeve.
This one I remember. Hardwin and I served together back in the war. Let me do the talking.
The two men embrace, amicably enough, but you sense an uneasy tension running beneath their smiles.
Well, as I live and scarcely breathe, if it isn't Ifan Ben Mesd. I thought you died in the death fog. Thought you died a hero. But I suppose it's better to live as one. We really gave those Black Ring what for, eh? Wiped them all out in the blink of an eye. Damned proud to have served with you, Ben Mesd. Damned proud.
Ifan's face turns sour as he mutters something under his breath that only the paladin can hear. Hardwin loses all camaraderie and blanches, stepping backwards. He puts one hand on his weapon.
You've changed. And for the worse. I'll not have the sacrifices of my fallen brothers maligned to my face. You survived, Ben Mesd. Be thankful for that, if nothing else.
A senior paladin sits hunched over a tattered map. He registers your presence, sits back in his chair, taps his fingers on the map.
Who are you, and who sent you?
He appraises you with a look, then grimly grins.
I think I've heard about you. Didn't you free the Meister from the gallows in Driftwood? Then I may well have a job for you, if you're interested.
He taps a finger on the map on the table.
Here, in the Black Pits, are White Magisters. Their operation is shrouded in mystery, and this pricks our ears. We are gravely concerned. We believe the White Magisters may have strayed into the darkness. We suspect that Dallas herself and her master Vriedemann are the inspiration for these dark endeavors. Look under the white veil of secrecy and report back. How much do you want? I have fewer paladins to pay, so I have ready gold. But there are limits.
He thinks on this.
It's a hefty amount. But for a job well done, we can stretch to it.
He offers you an item. A whistle-like device sits nestled in your hand.
When you're ready, send a war owl. Be careful out there. It's a dangerous place these days. And I'd like to think I'll hear from you again. And, adventurer...
He looks you in the eye.
Don't get caught.
I shall not mourn till war is done. I shall not weep while blood still runs. I'll hold my tears when weeping comes.
those Voidwoken.
Greetings. It's a brave elf who travels this road. It's a braver one who crosses the bridge and travels east. You have my admiration. It's a hellscape out there.
The wind is a gentle kiss. Come. Traveler, dear child, you sacrifice too much. You need peace, rest. Come here and stay.
A great pounding suddenly erupts in your barren chest cavity, rattling your bones. Your inner god roars and bellows, an incoherent, maddening cacophony.
It is awful how she treats you. She asks so much and gives so little in return. I am the only one who cares. She will say otherwise. She always does. And in the end, she'll betray you. Don't play her game. Think of yourself. Rest here. The sun is golden. No one will bother you. This moment can last forever, if you let it.
A sudden weariness washes over, bone deep and as irresistible as a strong current. The fatigue ebbs away, then surges back.
Shh, don't fight it. This is how it's supposed to be. Sleep now. When you wake, it will be in a new world. I only wanted to give you rest, not pain. Now, I leave you to my children. They are many. They are impatient. They lack my gentle touch. I am sorry, truly.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. I'll not lose another day to the tide. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath. I'll...
The Magister stops barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
I'm going nowhere right at this moment. Nowhere since something crossed my path and oh so very sharply piqued my interest. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? We do cruel things unto others and unto ourselves because we must.
He licks his lips. Dry flesh turns wet.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss.
His sliver of a smile could rival a rattler's.
I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yapping at my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth, that is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. The very definition of your order's existence. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters, but they do. Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule? A beast of burden? But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I'm in need of a rat catcher. Of course, I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot. Ask and he will answer.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you. Dallas.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up?
There's a moment of fleeting suspicion as his glove closes round the bones of your hand, but only a moment. He grins darkly.
How very heartwarming. One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into troubles with them. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail, I assure you. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The use of the gallows I pass on to you. The time has come, my stitched-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Left behind.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear, apparently, from the blast of magic that knocked him off his feet.
You, the supposed source hunter. I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it. Yes, I am very much aware. Wasn't my damned head that hit the floor back there. Now answer me. Did you meet with a Magister caravan on your way into town? The hour's growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong. By the bishop's bones, you saw it? Out with it, man. What happened? Voidwoken. That means source was used. Which means some third party must have attacked first. And I've a fair idea who that might have been. Raymond, that old goat, always suspected there's more to the Driftwood dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, a caravan attacked and destroyed. Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure. And hard workers, too. Half of them are their queen's spies. Her eyes, her ears, her poison-pouring hands. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist to boot. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern. I suspect this man of being a spy for his queen.
It may be interesting to have a word with him. Find out what he's up to. Where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs, to the west of Driftwood.
It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves may have set up a base of operations away from prying eyes. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working on behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be handsomely rewarded, I assure you. In that case, go forth and let the hunt commence!
Not much of a landlubber, but sometimes I get no choice in the matter. Besides, there's business to take care of. I always figured every dwarf is pure of heart when they pop out of their mummas, but we ain't born cruel, we're made cruel. That means we can be made uncruel. Not sure Lohar will ever be an upstanding member of his community, but he knows where to draw the lines.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat.
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red-cloaked baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, More than I suspect, man. God or even reptile can provide. However, we must soldier on. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Perhaps you have noticed the hole in the floor. You will find it just beside the wall bed. Kindly
The stone
enter
door remains just as it was when you last saw it, rigid and unmovable. Only taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent.
Runes. Weird contraptions. Well, this place is an arcanist's dream.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, God-woken? Just so. To accept divinity is to accept responsibility for the lives of every person and beast that walks Rivellon. If granted divinity, you would have the power of all 7 gods at your disposal. You could heal any wound, pull islands from the sea, right any injustice. But make no mistake, the divine has only one duty: to protect this world from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Once, although not by a god woken. My assistant did not believe that one had to be chosen by a god to become divine.
She waves a bandaged hand absent-mindedly, wincing slightly.
A headstrong and thoughtless girl, but the experience was... was quite educational. From observing her, I gather that the ritual involves inhaling the smoke, a lot of screaming, and a rather sudden death. And putting our faith in you is a risk Rivellon must take. If you need more detailed information about the ritual, see the tome on a plinth by the bookcase. But be quick about it. We do not have much time.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and Drudenay oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed. As the smoke swirls about your skull, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
Deepest recess of
What's this? I think the giant can finally understand us, Quercus. It certainly took it long enough. Where to begin? I disagree, Quercus. It does not need to know about the coming of the great acorn spelling doom for us all. Similarly, what happened with the Knights of Dre is our own business. Those acorn-worshipping acolytes do not scare me. No, it is enough for the creature to know that we are allowing it to accompany us so that it may act as our shield against the monsters. The great acorn has many servants. We shall need all the help we can get. Dear me, it has questions, Quercus. Why, yes, I suppose answering them is the polite thing to do. Speak, shield! What are your queries? Indeed, Quercus. Let's be off.
Bathed in the half-light of this eerie, starless landscape, you spot a figure you could only describe as you. Another you. It looks haggard and weak, its voice merely a feeble echo of your own.
My child, come. Come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am. Come, child. Let me show you.
The apparition clasps your face in shaking, skeletal hands, and you feel a tingle run through your bones. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color before fading back to their accustomed spectrum.
Time to open the eyes you lost so long ago. Speak the spell and see.
The strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Amadia in all her spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you, child? I saved you when the ship went down. I blessed you, made you powerful, and now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. And now you have brought me a gift.
Amadia stretches out and nourishes herself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself as it drains away.
Ah, yes. That is better. That is so much better. Truly, dying does not become a god. Immortality is only permanent, my dearest, until one day it simply ceases to be. The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We are battling for our very survival, and we are losing. Should we truly perish, all will be cast into oblivion. Indeed, there is. To save us both, as a matter of fact. You must realize, dear one, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. And once you are strong enough, we must travel to the Well of Ascension. There, you will become even more powerful, Eager child, before we discuss the where, we must first muse the what. The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave those powers up freely to create the first divine. To bathe in the lake is to become the divine. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it, no matter what the cost. I know, sweet child. Do you think I chose you for that fine bone structure alone? It is important you realize how high the stakes are. The Void has never been this strong. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in its powers, but to take them, all of them. Only he who claims everything will be everything. The Void's doom, this world's liberator. I hope you understand them to their full extent. The other gods must bow to you or be undone. Of course, the others are saying the same to their mortal God-woken as we speak. But there can be only one. So make no mistake, dear one. The road to divinity may well be paved with dead gods, their blood staining your ivory hands. But do not let that dismay you. You will save all of existence. You will save your kin and your loved ones, and all the rest of the mortal world. And you will become a god. I will lead you to the lake, my child, but not yet. Not until you have become a true master of the Source, until you speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source as only a God-woken can, and wield its most powerful spells.
Laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You flatter me, dear child. But if all I had to do was give, you would have received long ago. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, return to me here. Alas, I am no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. I will teach you what I can, but the links that will expand the bounds of your soul, those are connections I cannot make for you. Good luck, dear child. Make me proud.
A man's spirit stands before you, clad in scholarly dress. When your eyes meet, he staggers back, terrified.
Sweet Armadia, why do you test your chronicler so, haunting me with spirits? Am I cursed? Has the goddess turned her back on me?
The chronicler shudders, looking sick to his stomach.
Again. This again. I sleep, then I wake, and another piece of the world is gone. The Empress. It was her. It was that armor. I died for it, and now I'm trapped here. I died. Oh, Armadia. Why can't I escape? Why is there never a way out? Me? I archived Rivellon's history. I used ink to immortalize greatness on the page. A lizard empress sought my services. She needed an ancient design restored from a damaged text.
She told me the design was brilliant. When the armor was forged, the Empress showed it to me, and she trapped me inside. Consumed me. If it wasn't for me, the armor wouldn't exist at all. This is my fault. If I knew the way, I'd shout until every god heard me. But I have no idea. I simply want this to end. The chronicler puts his head in his hands, collapsing in silent defeat. The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hold your head in your hands, rubbing what's left of your temples.
You can't channel enough sauce? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? You may well have that potential, but at the same time, how to put this? I don't trust you to tie your bootlaces without accidentally hanging yourself, let alone controlling the powers of creation. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. You will not be there long, I assure you. There is only so much you can glean from a twisted mind. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just keep your eye sockets peeled. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
Quercus, what are you looking at? Egad, stop gawking at the shield. You ought to be quite used to such journeys into that stone realm by now. Meanwhile, the acorn draws nearer. I read through some tomes I saw that cranky old lizard carrying. Some fascinating leads, but nothing like the power we need to stop the Knights of Dre and their wicked plot. Our gargantuan friend is easily impressed. Wait until it learns that I'm a knight, a scholar, and a wizard capable of saving the world. No, of course it knows that already, Quercus. Yes, I'm aware it's the entire basis of our partnership. No, I most certainly do not feel the need to return the compliment. I owe our shield my life several times over. I hardly need to grovel and thank it each time. I'm sure it knows I appreciate it. Now, if you're quite finished ogling your favorite long-legged scratching post, we need to get on and save the world already.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
The kind that don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, Dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
Ah.
Keeping it together, Reed. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Reed. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Buying or selling? Capital. Good luck to you.
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, Dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
Ah.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it. Buying or selling? Capital. Good luck to you.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was slain by Seekers! Culprits still at large!
Keeping it together, Bree. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Mate, but what a scowl. Seems to me you could use a touch of magic.
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Yep.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among
Calm as a
friends.
coiled spring held tight, this silent watcher stands tense before you. It seems to be waiting for something, but what is not clear.
You needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you. Anything more?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Divine order to march against the ancient empire! Hear ye! Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was slain by Seekers! Culprits still at large!
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Till later, then.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.